A wallet with $23, a greasy table in the back of a diner, a woman abandoned on the worst day of her life. What Ethan discovered on that rainy Friday wasn't just a man walking out. It was the exact moment someone decided they couldn't carry that weight. It was a silent plan, carefully set up to leave a mother alone right before the cruelest part. A plan that would have worked if Ethan hadn't made the wrong choice, sitting down and saying, "I'm staying." This is the story of how one decision to stay changed two families and left a secret in a child's hands. What would you do if someone walked out on you at the worst moment of your life? This is the story of a mechanic who had $23 in his wallet and held two families together when everything was falling apart. But what Ethan didn't know that Friday night, the woman crying in the diner had a son with weeks to live, and staying would take everything he had left. And what that boy left behind. It's the kind of thing you don't forget. Ethan Miller locked the garage bay at Reynolds Auto, wiped grease off his hands, and checked the time, close to 9 that night. His daughter Lily was already asleep at the neighbor's house 3 blocks over, and his paycheck wouldn't hit until Tuesday. He had $23 and a growling stomach. He didn't want to go home yet. The apartment was too quiet, too full of echoes from the wife he'd lost 4 years ago. So he walked into Maggie's diner and ordered coffee and fries. That's when he heard the voice crack across the room. "Brandon, please, just let me explain." A woman in blue scrubs sat 2 booths over, hands clasped tight. Across from her, a man in an expensive shirt stood up fast, chair scraping loud. Ethan watched him throw cash on the table and head for the door. But what the man said next made every head in the diner turn. "I'm not the villain here, Claire." Brandon's voice wasn't angry. It was tired, almost sad. "I'm just being honest. I can't be with someone whose life is this. I don't have the capacity for it." Claire's face went pale. "He's 5 years old. He's dying. I didn't hide it from you. I know you didn't, but you have to understand. I'm not equipped for this kind of weight." Brandon shook his head. "I hope you find someone who is." "I really do." He walked out. No yelling, no cruelty. Just brutal honesty that somehow felt worse. The diner went silent. Then the whispers started. Ethan stared at his coffee. He thought about Lily, about the nights he'd cried alone in the shower so she wouldn't hear. He thought about how many people had looked at him with pity after Sarah died and decided he was too much work. His legs made the decision before his brain caught up. He stood and walked over to Claire's booth, heart pounding. "Hey, I'm Ethan. I know this is weird, but can I sit?" "Just for a minute." Claire looked up, eyes red. "You don't have to. I know." He sat down anyway. But nobody should sit alone after that. She gave him her number before the diner closed. But what she decided to tell him a few nights later, with her son crashing in the hospital, would test how far Ethan was really willing to go. "My son has neuroblastoma. Stage 4. Claire's voice was flat, practiced. "They gave him 6 months 2 years ago. We're in the final stretch now. Weeks maybe?" Ethan didn't flinch. "My wife died of cancer when my daughter was 4. Pancreatic. She was 31. Claire's eyes met his, not with pity, but recognition. 2 people who'd been gutted by the same kind of loss. "Why are you still sitting here?" She whispered. "Look, I don't know you." Ethan swallowed. "And this is going to sound stupid." He glanced at the empty booth, then back at her. "But he didn't leave because you lied. He left because he couldn't handle it." A beat. "I can't promise anything. I'm broke. I've got a kid," he breathed out. "I'm here." That's it. The waitress brought more coffee. They talked until the diner closed late that night. Outside, under the streetlights, Claire hesitated. "I shouldn't drag you into this. You didn't drag me." At home, he stared at his phone. Then texted, "I meant what I said." Claire texted back, "I know. That's what scares me." But a little after midnight 3 days later, she called him crying, and everything accelerated. "I'm sorry," Claire sobbed into the phone. "I shouldn't have called, but Noah had seizures tonight and I I needed to hear someone who wouldn't tell me to stay positive. Where are you? Ethan was already putting on his shoes. The hospital. But you don't have to. I'm coming. He drove straight there and found her in the pediatric wing hallway, back against the wall, face buried in her hands. When she saw him, something broke. Everyone keeps calling him a fighter, she said. Like that's supposed to help. He's 5. He just wants it to stop hurting. Ethan sat down on the floor beside her. My wife fought for 18 months. At the end, she told me she was tired of being brave. She just wanted permission to let go. He paused. So I gave it to her. Claire, beautiful American white female, 32 years old, white skin, brown hair tied back, nurse uniform style with a flattering silhouette emphasizing a curvy figure with full busty, blue scrubs, white sneakers. Claire's breath hitched. Did you regret it? Every day, and I'd do it again. Ethan stared at the floor. I don't have a fix for this. Claire's breath hitched. He nodded once, like admitting defeat. All I know is, his voice broke. He cleared his throat. Don't let him do it alone. They sat in silence until a nurse came out and told Claire that Noah was stable. When he got home, the apartment was still quiet, but it didn't crush him the same way. But what he didn't know, his choice to stay was about to cost him his job. On Tuesday morning, Ethan's boss Mike called him into the office. Mike's face was tight. You missed Monday's shift. No call, no show. Ethan's stomach dropped. I'm sorry. There was an emergency. With the nurse? Mike raised an eyebrow. Look, I get it. You're trying to help. But you've been late 3 times this month, and yesterday you just didn't show. I can't keep covering for you. I know. It won't happen again. Mike sighed. You're a good mechanic, Ethan, but if this happens one more time, I'll have to let you go. I don't have a choice. Ethan nodded, throat tight. Understood. He walked back to the bay, hands shaking. He was already behind on rent. If he lost this job, he'd lose everything. The apartment, Lily's school, the fragile stability he'd built since Sarah died. That night, when Claire texted asking if he could come over, he almost said no. Almost. He stared at the screen a long time. Then he typed, on my way. And what he found at Claire's apartment that night made it impossible to pretend this was temporary. Ethan didn't go home after Mike's warning. He drove past his building once, then twice, like the steering wheel could make the decision for him. Inside the apartment, the air smelled like detergent and old takeout. Lily's backpack was on the chair, her homework half pulled out like she'd been interrupted mid-life. On the kitchen counter sat a stack of envelopes, the kind that came in stiff white paper with red ink. Ethan didn't open them right away. He washed the coffee mug he hadn't used. He wiped a countertop that was already clean. He stood in front of the fridge and stared at a magnet from the zoo, the one Sarah had bought Lily before she got sick. Then he opened the first envelope, final notice. The second one, late fee. The third one, a polite way of saying pay us or lose it. His phone buzzed. A text from Claire. You don't have to come over if you're tired. I know you have Lily. Ethan stared at the message longer than he should have. Lily pattered out of her room in socks, hair messy, eyes half asleep. Dad? He turned fast, forcing his face into something calm. Hey, Bug. She squinted at the envelopes. Are we in trouble? No, we're okay. She looked at him like she didn't believe it. You said that when Mom was in the hospital. The words landed hard. Not because Lily meant to hurt him, but because she didn't. Ethan swallowed. Yeah, I did. Lily climbed onto the chair across from him, pulling her knees to her chest. Mrs. Carter said you work too much because you don't like being here. That's not true. Then why are you always gone? She whispered. Ethan took a long breath and made a choice, a smaller one than going to the hospital, but somehow harder. He slid the envelopes into a drawer, closed it, sat down. I'm gone because I'm scared, he said. Lily blinked. Of what? Of losing things. His voice turned rough. Of losing you. Of losing the apartment. I'm scared it's all going to fall apart. Lily stared at him for a moment like she was trying to translate adult language into kid language. Then she got up, walked around the table, and leaned into him. You're not going to lose me, she said, small and fierce. Ethan tried to answer, but nothing came out. He nodded once hard. I'm trying, he managed. I'm really trying, Lily pulled back. Is your friend Claire gonna lose her kid? Ethan's chest tightened. He nodded once. Lily stared at the floor. Is that why you keep going? Yes. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she asked, if I was dying, would you want someone to stay with you? Ethan didn't answer right away. Finally, he said, yes. Lily nodded like that was enough proof, like that settled the math. Then she yawned, rubbed her eyes, and shuffled back toward her room. At the doorway, she stopped. Dad? Yeah? Tomorrow. Can we still do movie night? Even if it's late? Ethan's throat tightened. Yeah, we can. After she went back in, Ethan sat alone at the table until the clock blinked 1:17. And for the first time since Mike's warning, Ethan whispered the truth out loud, even if nobody was there to hear it. I can't keep up. Noah Brooks was tiny for 5 years old, sitting cross-legged on the couch in Spider-Man pajamas, oxygen cannula under his nose. But when he saw Ethan, his face lit up. Are you the man who made my mom smile? Ethan's chest tightened. I don't know. Did she smile? Noah nodded. She cries a lot. But yesterday she was laughing on the phone. Claire stood in the doorway, arms crossed, eyes red but softer than Ethan had seen them. He wanted to meet you. Ethan sat down on the floor in front of Noah. Your mom says you like Spider-Man. He's the best superhero. Noah's voice was thin but steady. Because he's just a regular person who does brave things. That's a pretty good superpower. Do you have a superpower? Ethan thought for a moment. I fix cars. Mostly. Noah smiled. That's a good one. They spent the evening building Lego sets, or trying to. Noah's hand shook too much, so Ethan did the snapping while Noah gave instructions. When Noah fell asleep on the couch, Claire covered him with a blanket and walked Ethan to the door. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For not being afraid of him. Her voice cracked. Everyone else looks at him like he's already gone. Ethan reached out and took her hand. He's still here. That's what matters. But outside, sitting in his truck, Ethan made a decision that would change everything. He pulled out his phone and texted Mike. I need to take some unpaid days off. Family emergency. I'll make it up however I can. Mike's reply came fast. You're walking a dangerous line, Miller. 2 nights later, Ethan lay awake, listening to her cry, and realized he was already choosing her pain over his own stability. 2 days after Ethan met Noah, Claire asked a normal question. The kind people ask when they're trying to pretend they're still part of the world. Can you come with me to the store? She said, I need to grab a few things before my shift. Ethan could have said no. He should have, honestly. But the word store sounded like oxygen, like something that wasn't hospital lights and alarms. So he went. The grocery store was too bright, too loud, and too normal. Claire moved quickly, eyes on the floor, like she was trying not to be seen. She threw apples into a bag, then paused like she forgot what apples were for. Ethan pushed the cart. He didn't know what he was doing there. He was a mechanic. He fixed alternators and brakes. He didn't fix cancer. Near the dairy aisle, an older woman in a church sweater stopped them. Her eyes flicked to Claire's scrubs, then to the bracelet on her wrist, the hospital kind. Oh, honey, the woman said softly. How's your little boy? Claire froze. Just for a second. Then she smiled in a way that wasn't a smile. He's here, she said. For now. The woman reached out like she was going to touch Claire's arm. Claire stepped back before it happened. I'm praying for him, the woman insisted. God gives the hardest battles to the strongest mothers. Claire's fingers tightened around the handle of the cart until her knuckles went white. Ethan watched her face, and he saw it, the rage underneath the grief. Thank you, Claire whispered, because that's what people like Claire are trained to say. The woman moved on, satisfied that she'd done something good. For a few seconds after, Claire didn't move. She just stared at the yogurt like it had insulted her. Ethan lowered his voice. Do you want to go? Claire shook her head quickly. No, if I go home now, I'll fall apart. She took a breath. I hate when people talk to me like I'm brave. Ethan nodded. Yeah, Claire's voice cracked. I'm not brave. I'm trapped. They walked in silence for a minute. Then Noah's favorite cereal appeared on the shelf, the kind with the cartoon hero on the front. Claire stopped like she'd hit a wall. I shouldn't buy this, she said. Why? Because he can't eat it anymore, she whispered. And if I buy it, it means I'm still pretending. Ethan hesitated with the box in his hands. I don't think buying it is pretending. He set it in the cart anyway. I think it's you being his mom. Even now, Claire swallowed hard. You say things like that like you know what you're doing. Ethan shook his head. I don't. I just remember what I needed when Sarah was sick. People kept trying to fix it. I didn't need fixing, he glanced at her. I needed someone who could stand in the aisle with me and not run away. Claire stared at him like she was trying to decide if he was real. Then she looked down at the cart, at the cereal, at the apples, at the normal life she couldn't live anymore. Quietly, she said, Noah wants to give you something. Ethan blinked. What? Claire hesitated. He won't tell me. He said it's for you. And Lily, he said it's a surprise. Ethan swallowed. When? Claire's eyes got wet. Soon. That night, Ethan came back to Claire's apartment to drop off the groceries. He told himself it was just food, just a favor, just 10 minutes. Noah was awake on the couch, propped up like a kid trying to sit through a movie he was too tired to finish. When he saw Ethan, his eyes sharpened. Did you bring Lily? He asked. Not tonight, Ethan said gently. She's asleep. Noah nodded like he'd expected that answer. Then he patted the cushion beside him. I made something. Claire appeared in the hallway, wiping her hands on a dish towel. Noah, you don't have to. Yes, I do, Noah said, surprisingly firm. He reached under the pillow and pulled out a tiny notebook with a Spider-Man sticker on the cover. The spiral was bent. The pages were wrinkled. He held it out to Ethan with both hands like it was important enough to require ceremony. It's a secret, Noah whispered. For you and Lily, but you can't give it to her yet. Ethan's throat tightened. Why not? Noah looked down at his own fingers, thinking. Because if she reads it now, she'd think I'm already gone, and I'm not. He lifted his eyes. Not yet. Ethan took the notebook carefully. Inside were messy lines, little stick figure drawings, and a title written in shaky letters. Noah's Hero Rules. Rule number 1. Heroes show up even when they're scared.
Rule number 2. Don't tell my mom to be strong.
Rule number 3. If you don't know what to say, say I'm here. Claire covered her mouth and turned away, shoulders trembling. Noah watched her for a second, then looked back at Ethan. You have to remember the rules when she forgets them. Ethan nodded once because anything more would break him. I will, he said. I promise. Noah leaned back, exhausted, but satisfied. Okay, he murmured. Then you can stay. Noah was quiet for a moment, like the notebook had taken the last of his strength. Then he reached under the blanket again, slower this time, and pulled out a folded piece of lined paper. The edges were soft from being opened and closed too many times. Ethan started to speak, but Noah shook his head. Not for you, he whispered. For Lily. Ethan's chest tightened. You want me to give it to her? No, Noah said quickly, almost panicked. Not yet. Why? Ethan asked, keeping his voice low, like they were negotiating something fragile. Noah stared at the paper like it could hear them. Because if she reads it now, she'll cry, he swallowed. And if she cries, she'll think I'm already dead. From the hallway, a floorboard creaked. Claire's footsteps. Noah's eyes widened. He shoved the paper back under the blanket with a clumsy urgency that made Ethan's stomach twist. Claire appeared in the doorway a second later, trying to smile through the exhaustion. "What are you two whispering about?" Noah lifted his chin, suddenly innocent. "Nothing," Claire narrowed her eyes. "Nothing? Nope," Noah said too fast. Then he pointed at Ethan's hands. "He's just learning the rules." Claire looked at Ethan, confused. "What rules?" Ethan hesitated, half a second, long enough to feel like betrayal, and then he chose the safest truth. "Just how to show up." Claire nodded slowly, as if that answered more than she wanted it to. She walked closer, brushed Noah's hair back, and her voice cracked on the next words. "You need to rest." Noah didn't argue. He just watched her like he was memorizing her face. When Claire went to the kitchen, Noah leaned in again, voice barely there. "Promise me something else." Ethan swallowed. "Okay." Noah's eyes were too serious for a 5-year-old. "If my mom gets mad later, don't leave. She doesn't mean it. She's just drowning." Ethan felt the weight of it land. This kid wasn't asking for comfort. He was arranging people's futures. "I won't leave," Ethan said. Noah exhaled like he'd been holding that breath all day. "And Ethan?" Noah added. "Yeah? When you give Lily the paper." "Don't do it in front of my mom," he frowned, searching for the right word. "She'll break." Ethan nodded, throat tight. "Okay." Noah settled back into the couch. The bravest thing about him wasn't the cancer. It was that he kept trying to protect everyone from the truth, even while it was taking him. Ethan sat there beside him, holding the notebook in his lap like a promise he couldn't afford to forget. Claire called him late one night, her voice hollow. "They're denying the pain management." She took a shaky breath. "They're saying it's not medically necessary." Ethan sat up in bed. "How much?" $1,200 a week," she laughed bitterly. "Money I don't have." Ethan's mind raced. "What if I tried to help you get it? Maybe talk to the hospital billing." "I already did," Claire cut him off, 3 times. "They won't budge. I even went to the pharmacy to see if I could pay out of pocket for just 1 week." Her voice broke. "The guy behind the counter looked at the prescription and told me it would be $870. Cash." Ethan felt his stomach drop. "I stood there holding my credit card," Claire whispered, "and it got declined. Right there. In front of everyone." The line went quiet. Ethan stared at the ceiling, his own red-letter envelopes flashing in his mind. He had maybe $300 to his name, not even enough for half a week. "What if we asked people for help?" he said finally. "I can't do that. I can't be another sad story online. I'm already the woman people pity at the grocery store, at work, at church." The line went quiet. Then Ethan said slowly, "What if I do it?" "What?" "What if I set it up and share it with my coworkers?" "You don't have to be involved. Ethan, you barely know me." "I know enough." His voice was firm. "And Noah deserves to not be in pain. So let me try, please." She was silent for a long time. Then, finally, "Okay." The next morning, Ethan walked into Reynolds Auto and found Mike in the office. "I need a favor." Mike looked up, wary. "What kind of favor?" Ethan explained. Mike sat back, arms crossed. "If you're asking me to put my shop's name on this, it better be real." "It is." Mike stared at him for a long moment. Then his jaw tightened and something shifted in his face. "My sister's kid had leukemia," Mike said quietly. 8 years old. I watched her try every fundraiser, every charity, every favor she could ask. He paused. She still went bankrupt paying for his last 6 months. Ethan didn't move. Mike exhaled. "I hate these things." I hate that people have to beg strangers for medicine. He leaned forward. But yeah, I'll help. The GoFundMe raised $4,000 in less than a week. Ethan brought the news to Claire on Saturday afternoon, and for the first time since they'd met, he saw her cry with something other than grief. Relief, maybe, or disbelief that people still cared. But when he got home that evening, Lily was sitting on the couch, arms crossed, face stormy. Mrs. Carter says you have a new friend. Ethan sat down slowly. Yeah, her name's Claire, and she has a kid who's sick. Yeah, his name's Noah. Lily's jaw tightened. Are you going to leave me and go be with them? Ethan's heart cracked. What? No. Lily, where did that come from? Because you're always gone now, her voice broke. You're always at work or at Claire's house, and you never want to do movie night anymore. And I heard Mrs. Carter say you're playing hero and you're going to get hurt. Stop. Ethan pulled her into his lap, even though she tried to squirm away. Listen to me. I am never, ever going to leave you. You're my whole world, Lily. Do you understand that? Then why are you always with them? Because Noah is dying. And his mom is trying to be brave, and she needs help. Just like we needed help when Mom died, remember? Lily's face crumpled. I don't want another person to die, Dad. I know, sweetheart. Me neither. Can I meet him? Ethan blinked. You want to? Yeah, because if you love him, I should probably love him too. And that's how, the next Saturday, Lily walked into Claire's apartment, saw Noah's Lego collection, and said 5 words that changed everything. Want to build the Millennium Falcon? Ethan kept his promise. Friday night, popcorn, Lily curled under a blanket, the TV glowing blue across the living room. Halfway through the movie, Lily whispered, "This part is where the mom dies, right?" Ethan's body went still. He turned his head slowly. Who told you that? Nobody. Lily kept her eyes on the screen like it was safer than looking at him. I just know when it's coming. Lily shifted closer to him. Are we doing the right thing? Ethan frowned. Helping? Lily nodded. What if? What if Noah dies and Miss Claire hates you because you can't fix it? Ethan stared at his daughter, stunned by how accurately she'd named the fear he refused to say out loud. That's not your job to worry about, he said gently. But I do, Lily whispered. Ethan's phone buzzed on the coffee table. He ignored it once, then it buzzed again. Lily saw his eyes flick. She sat up. Is it the hospital? Ethan's chest tightened. Maybe. Lily's voice shook. Are you going to leave? The question wasn't jealous. It was terrified. Ethan reached for the remote and paused the movie. The screen froze on a smiling character mid-laugh. He took Lily's face in his hands, making her look at him. I'm going to answer, he said, steady. And then I'm coming right back here unless it's an emergency. And even if it is, he swallowed, look at me. You're coming with me in my head, okay? Lily nodded, but her eyes were wet. Ethan picked up the phone, Claire's name. He stepped into the hallway, lowering his voice. Claire? Claire didn't speak at first. Ethan just heard breathing, ragged, broken. Then, in a whisper that sounded like it hurt to exist, she said, He's asking for you. Ethan's stomach dropped. Now? Yes, she said. Please. Ethan leaned his forehead against the wall. In the living room, he heard the faint sound of Lily's sniffle, the kind she tried to hide, the same way he used to hide his tears in the shower. He walked back in and knelt in front of her. Lily didn't ask. She already knew. Ethan said, I have to go. Lily's mouth trembled. Will you come back? Ethan held her hands. I will. Then he added the part that mattered, the part she needed to hear more than a guarantee. And even if you fall asleep, I'm still here. I'm still your dad, always. Lily nodded once, wiping her face hard like she was angry at the tears. Then she surprised him. Tell Noah, I'm glad I met him, she whispered. Ethan's throat tightened. I will. As Ethan grabbed his keys, Lily called after him, voice small. "Dad?" He turned. She swallowed hard. "Just come back," she whispered. "This is the part movies fade to black. Real life doesn't." 3 weeks later, somewhere around 3 in the morning, Claire called Ethan sobbing so hard she couldn't speak. He got there fast, too fast for someone trying to pretend he still had a choice. Noah was propped up on pillows, oxygen mask over his face, eyes half closed. But when he saw Ethan, he smiled. "Hey, buddy," Ethan whispered, sitting on the edge of the bed. "Your mom said you wanted to see me." Noah nodded weakly. "I wanted to say thank you." "For what?" "For being nice to my mom." "And to me." His voice was thin as tissue paper. "Can you tell Lily something?" "Anything. Tell her Spider-Man's real." "Because you came." Ethan's vision blurred. "I'll tell her." Noah closed his eyes. "I'm really tired, Ethan. I know. You can rest now. Will you stay?" "Yeah, I'll stay." Noah died just before dawn, with Claire holding his hand and Ethan sitting at the foot of the bed. When it was over, Claire didn't cry. She just stared at her son's face and whispered, "I don't know how to do this." Ethan moved to her side and pulled her into his arms. One breath at a time. But in the days that followed, Claire would break that promise and disappear completely. After the funeral, Claire went silent. Not physically. She still went to work, still answered texts with one-word responses, but emotionally, she was gone. When Ethan called, she didn't pick up. When he showed up at her apartment, she opened the door just wide enough to say, "I need space." Lily asked about her every day. "When can we see Miss Claire?" "I don't know, sweetheart. Did we do something wrong?" "No. She's just really sad right now." But on the 9th day, Ethan couldn't take it anymore. He showed up at Claire's door late in the evening and knocked until she opened it. The apartment was dark. The lights were off. Through the crack in the door, Ethan could see a cardboard box in the middle of the living room floor. Noah's things half packed like she'd started and couldn't finish. Claire stood in the doorway, hair unwashed, eyes hollow. "What do you want, Ethan?" "I want to make sure you're okay." "I'm not okay." "I'm never going to be okay." Her voice was sharp. "And I can't keep dragging you into this. You've got Lily, and I can't be the broken woman you feel sorry for." "Stop." Ethan nodded toward the box on the floor. "I can see you're barely standing." Claire's jaw tightened. "Then go home." He didn't move. "I don't know what to say that makes this smaller." A pause. "But I'm not going anywhere." Claire's face crumpled. "I don't know how to let you in." "Then let me sit with you." She opened the door wider. And for 2 hours, they sat on the couch in silence, not talking, not fixing, just breathing in the same room. When Ethan finally left, Claire whispered, "He left something for you." Ethan turned. "What?" "Noah. He left you a letter." Claire handed Ethan a folded piece of construction paper. "He dictated it to my friend Jenna 2 days before he died." Ethan unfolded it with shaking hands. The handwriting was wobbly, signed in crayon at the bottom. "Dear Ethan, thank you for making my mom smile. She cried a lot before you came. Then you showed up and she started laughing again sometimes. That made me feel better too. Please don't let her be alone. She acts like she's okay, but she's not. She forgets to eat sometimes. And she stares at the wall like she can't come back. If she gets mad or tells you to go, don't listen. She doesn't mean it. I think she's just hurting so much she can't talk, right? And tell Lily she is my best friend. I like that she talks to me like I'm not just sick. Love, Noah." Ethan read it 3 times. Then he set it down, covered his face with his hands, and cried. Claire reached across the table and took his hand. "He knew, Ethan. He knew what you did for us." "I didn't do anything. You did everything." Her voice was fierce. "You stayed when everyone else ran." They sat there holding hands, and for the first time since Noah's death, Claire felt something other than grief. Permission to keep living. 2 weeks after the letter, Ethan found Lily sitting on her bed, holding Noah's Spider-Man figure in one hand and a folded piece of paper in the other. The paper Noah had hidden under the blanket that night. Ethan's breath caught. "When did you?" "Last week," Lily said quietly. "You left it on the kitchen table when you were helping Miss Claire pack Noah's things." Ethan sat down beside her. "Did you read it?" Lily nodded. Her eyes were red, but she wasn't crying. "He said I can cry. And I still have to get up." She looked at Ethan. "He told me to take care of you." Ethan's throat tightened. "Yeah?" "Yeah." Lily folded the paper carefully and tucked it into her nightstand drawer. "So I'm going to." She leaned into her dad's shoulder. "And Miss Claire, too. Because that's what Noah would do." Ethan wrapped his arm around her and held on. On a warm May evening, Ethan took Claire and Lily to Forsyth Park. They spread a blanket under the fountain, and Lily ran ahead to chase pigeons. Ethan turned to Claire, hands shaking. "I've been thinking about what Noah said in that letter." Claire smiled softly. "Yeah? He was right. You're terrible at taking care of yourself." He pulled out a small velvet box. "So I was wondering if you'd let me do it, officially." He opened the box. Inside was a simple silver band. "Claire Brooks, will you marry me?" She didn't answer right away. She looked at the ring, then at Ethan, then at Lily laughing in the grass. And then she nodded, tears streaming. Yes. 4 months later, on a quiet October morning, Ethan and Claire stood at Noah's grave in Laurel Grove Cemetery. Lily placed a white carnation, Noah's favorite, on the headstone. Claire whispered, "Thank you for bringing us together, baby. We're going to be okay." That afternoon, they got married in a small ceremony at the park where Ethan had proposed. Mike Reynolds walked Claire down the aisle. Lily was the flower girl. When the officiant asked for vows, Claire's voice shook. "I didn't know how to live after him." "Then you kept showing up." Ethan smiled through tears. "I choose you." Every day. A year later, they launched the Noah Brooks Memorial Fund. The first family they helped was a single mother named Maria, whose 6-year-old daughter needed the same pain medication Noah had. Claire drove to Maria's house herself and handed her an envelope with 3 months' worth of prescriptions already paid for. Maria cried and asked, "Why are you doing this?" Claire didn't look away. "Someone did it for me," she said. "So, we're doing it for you." And every night before bed, Lily whispered to Noah's Spider-Man figure on her nightstand, "Good night, Noah. You were the best superhero I ever knew. If this got you, subscribe. And comment. Who showed up for you when you thought you were going under?